here's what we're hopefully going to do today. I want to do the end game, so I want to show the lock being popped, which means we need to figure out how we're going to move on to the next level. I also want to show when the lock fails as well, so when you miss the lock, we haven't done that yet. And then we want to probably get this in here. These two are the sort of holdover from the last video, so we'll see if we can get to there. But really, I want to show this sort of animation when we pop the lock. And the animation for when we pop the lock is inside here. There's a lock hoop. Now the lock hoop for me is not on the right place. This should be a separate object, I think, because I want it to do this that kind of action, if that makes any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an empty one here. I'm going to call this lock hoop pivot. So much like I did with the previous one here, I'm going to move this up to here. And this is at that position, so I'm going to say copy component, and then I'm going to paste component values. And now lock hoop pivot is at the same position as lock hoop, and I'm going to drag that inside there. So there's effectively no change. The difference though is that lock hoop pivot stays the same. This is now at 0, 0, 0, which means that we can move our Y independently, so we can do that that movement. So for that we are going to use, of course, a animation control. So our lock hoop pivot is going to need some kind of animation control here. So I'm going to have a C# script here, and it's going to be lock hoop animation. And reload solution. So I'm going to do very similar things to what we had for our where are we? Rotate ball. This one here, yeah. This one here, we need to have these values across here. So I'm going to do quite a lot of copy and paste, basically. Okay, so our hoop animation, we're going to have a public animation curve, and this is going to be height curve, and it's going to do the kind of dip down and then pull back up. That's the sort of idea. And then we're going to have, where are we? Let me get rid of these other ones here that we don't need just now. Okay, so I need a public void reset. And the public void reset, actually let's do first things first. So public transform, and this is going to be our first child, which is the graphic itself. So public void reset, and then we're going to do child dot transform. Actually, it's just child dot position equals vector 3.0. We're just going to snap it to 0, which is fine for the next level. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to say public void show unlock, and that is going to have an action because we need to know when it's finished, and then a duration, so however long it takes, and then we're going to do start coroutine do unlock finished float duration. Okay, so very similar to what we had before, and of course I need to add my using system up here to get my action. And then we have our enumerator do unlock, float duration, that there, and we also need system collection as well. And we don't need float in that one. And I think that's everything we need there. So let's make sure we have everything set up for the scene. So our lock hoop pivot is going to have a lock hoop animation, and that return null. Let's just put that in there just now so it compiles, and then this is now going to give us a one there, and I'm going to have our lock hoop there, which is a transform, and then our height curve is going to dip down. So you see it kind of does that kind of dip down and then back up again, but our up is actually going to be a little bit higher than that. So we're going to put it at where do I want it to go? Well, actually, let's see where that goes. About there should be enough. So 1.27. So yeah, 1.27. So 1.25. Let's make it. Okay. So that's way too far up. 1.25, did I say? Let's make it 1.26. Yeah, that's good enough. But we want to add a keyframe in here. So we're going to add a key there. And we also want to add a key probably about here. And our key here is going to actually pull the lock a little bit further down. So we're going to be -2 there. And then this one here, we're going to kind of smooth it off like that. So it's going to do that kind of dip and then pull back up again. This is the handy thing about animation curves, is that we don't need to calculate all these crazy things. It just evaluates it based on time. That's time 0, that's time 1, and we're done. Okay, so I'm going to reset that back to 0. That's not the right one. It is in fact this one, which is the reason why I wanted to put it in the pivot in the first place, is because it makes this math so much easier. Okay, so that is going to go to 0, and then our lock hoop pivot. Okay, so our rotate ball, we have this down here, so I'm just going to lock stock copy this, and we're going to change a few bits and pieces in here. So the first thing is we just need a height curve, that's all. And we don't need local scale, we don't need any of that. So really we only need a few lines from here. So our vector 3, our current height, actually sorry, this is the current height here, and this just temporary vector is gonna be new vector 3, and then it's going to be 0 on the x, and then current height, and then 0 on the z. And in fact we don't even need vec, we just need to do child dot position equals that, and then we're done. So that was fairly painless. But we also need to call this. So that happens inside the game controller. So our game controller needs to have a lock hoop. So we need to have a lock hoop here, and again I'll wire this up so that I don't forget it, because that's usually what happens, is I forget about doing it. So I'm going to drag that across there, and that's that done. And now when we do the celebration, what I want to do is lock hoop dot start, whatever I call it, show unlock. Show unlock, and then unlock finished. And then the duration is, we'll just say 1 second. That's good enough. And then we'll have private void. So the unlock is finished. We are then going to do a start coroutine cooldown next level. So this is our this is just the part that pauses the game for a second and then, well, actually, yeah, it doesn't pause the game. It actually like pauses the game. It shows the sort of end screen. So we need to do the to-do show end screen bit here. But for now, we'll just do lock hoop dot reset. Okay, and we're currently at 10. So I'm going to do this is just for debug, but I'm going to do private const int current level equals 1, and I'm going to say current level equals that and that. So we can change this to whatever level we want, and we can change this for debug purposes only. Should be 1 for shipping here. So our value for current level should be 1. You should always start on the current level and then move up to whatever level you want to move up to. But we'll add, like when you come back to the game, we'll obviously load that there, but the start level should be 1, but it's only for debugging. I think I made myself clear in my rambling. Okay, so we have our mist ball here. We haven't done that yet. When we get to this point here, we should now have an unlock. Yeah, and that should get us the win. So let's see how that looks. No, not quite. That did not look right. Am I missing the wrong? Is it doing the wrong thing? Child opposition. No, it seems to be right. Okay, so child position 0, so it resets to 0. Well, that's got to be faster for a start. I think that's far too slow. So this needs to get moved up to about here, and subsequently this needs to get moved up to about here. So it's more of a kind of snappy. Let's see how that looks. Whoa. Oh, it's still not going up too high. Okay, so I think this needs to go up to maybe it does need to go up to 1.5. And make that 1.5 also. Something like that. So it does the quick leap up. That might work. Yeah, still not going high enough, that's the problem. I should have gone with 2 in the first place. Okay, let's do this one. Reset this. and then we'll do this to 2, and we'll see if that gets us where we want it to go. Okay, so that's 2. Okay, well, 2 is not enough. So 2.5. Okay. 2.5. Okay, 2.5 looks good. Okay. So I need a keyframe down here. Down here. I need one about here. So this one, actually let's put one in here as well. So this one needs to get pulled down to probably -1. And then this one needs to get pulled way up to 2.5. There you go. So something like that, and that gives us a kind of leeway of time. Looks jittery. So this can probably get pulled across to about halfway, and that means that this can get pulled across to there. That's probably about right. Maybe. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's doing the right thing. Delete key. Let's try that. Maybe it's just doing that it's too jerky. Far too low. Yeah, I feel like I'm wasting too much time in the video on this. Sorry. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, so it is... so once we've unlocked it, we then want to... unlock finished. Okay, so lock hoop reset. So it's not resetting, annoyingly. Oh, because I'm not calling it, that's why. So I want to say if finished is not equal to null, call finished. And that will reset it. And then I want to increment the level. So the current level, so I want to say current level is increment to that, tap, what's it called, taps left equals current level, and then I want to update these values here. So I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna say update UI. So my update UI is now going to have those values in there, so those lines in there. So that's going to be those UI lines in there. So now I'm going to say update UI. And also, I do want to pause the game as well, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to move on to the next level. So now I need 2. Now I need 3. Sweet. Okay, so that lock hoop, that reset, that is getting put down far too far. Why is it getting put down far too far? Why is that getting put down far too far? Let me see what that's going to end up being inside that reset. Okay, so lock hoop is minus 1.25. Why is lock loop minus 1.25? When reset should be putting it into 0. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do yield wait for seconds 1f, and then I'm going to say child.position equals vector 3.0. So I'm just going to reset it inside here, so I don't need to reset it outside. It's just it does that reset and then it moves on to the next level. I think that's it's good enough. So I'll do this and then wait and then reset the value. Okay, let's see if this works. No, that is weird. Why is that doing that? Huh. That is so strange. So that's getting reset to that and it should be there. Why? There's no scale applied there. There's no scale on there. Is it because this is still being evaluated? That doesn't make any sense. It's already out of there. Put a breakpoint here. And we'll run it. See what we get. Position equals that. That. So position equals that. I guess reset to 1.25. That's making no sense. What? Okay, we'll come back to that. It's not really important. I'm going to put this back though, and keep this one out, and then put this back in here. Lock dot reset. I'm going to reset that. Okay, so figure out how to move on. So end game. So what have we done so far? We've done this one, and we've done that one. Okay. All right. We should probably pause the game as well. So what we can do is we can disable, actually we need to we need to have a state in here as well. So we need to have an enum game state. So game state is playing. Interstitial, because the interstitial part is just the you're not playing game, and yeah, I think that's okay. And then we need to have a state equals interstitial. Okay, so if it's interstitial, we're not going to do anything. So tick pivot update UI, okay, and we don't want to do the start in here. What we want to say is if you tap the game, so we want to say if state equals interstitial, so in other words you're in the middle of the game, to do game setup stuff, and then we want to show that there, and we want to say state equals playing, else actually we could do switch state case break default break. Okay, so instead of having an if statement, and you could probably tidy this up and make this more object oriented, but I will leave that for you to do. I'm not going to do it for this game anyway. So we have our interstitial here, so if the interstitial's there, you want to show the tick, and then you want to start playing the game. Otherwise you want to hide the tick. So I want to turn that to be false when you die. So when you finish the game, okay, so if you're inside the ball, I want you to do the fade out no matter what. Okay, I want you to do the fade out no matter what. I'm going to come back to that line in just a sec. And then this one here, I want to say, let's do an update UI on that one. When you do the celebration, I want to turn off the tick. I don't want the tick to be shown. And then when the unlock is finished, I want to say tick pivot dot reset, and reset is that. Yeah, it's okay. Let's do the resets together. Okay, and I think that's okay. We need like a tap to play as well, but it's okay for just now. So nothing should be seen on the screen, nothing's there, and then we tap. Okay, and then the game starts. Oh, missed it. And then we need to put it into the interstitial mode. So the unlock is finished, we want to update the UI, and then we want to enter the interstitial mode. So we do state equals dot interstitial, because we don't want to restart the game again. Okay, so, because when we complete the game we want that pause. So we get our pause there, that's the bit we need to have the tap to play. And we play, 1, and we're playing immediately there. Where's our update? Update. Do we have an update on here? So where's show tick? Okay, so show tick. No. Oh, the ball faded out. There's the show tick there. Okay, so we can't have that. Can we? Okay, no, we can, because if we put this at the very start here, then what we can say is if state equals playing, then we show this. Otherwise we do this manually. Okay, which is done up here. Where are we? Show tick. Yeah, okay. And I think that's good to go. Hopefully. I'm an optimistic guy. That's why, I'm hopeful. No, didn't work. Alright. Oh, the ball faded out. The ball fades out there after we do the celebration. So, maybe we don't have it there. We do it here. So we do the ball fade out there, and then inside the do celebration part, we do that in the unlock finished. So we do that there. So that would then, it's in 2 separate places, but okay. Let's see if this works. Get 1. I still want it to fade out. Actually, you know what? What I can do is I can get it to not do that. So I can get it to do the ball fade out here, but ball fade out, celebrate. So I don't want that there. Ball fade out, celebrate, and then I need to pass something in here, so I can just pass in null. And you can put that in there, and then this just becomes simpler. So I have my 2 function calls, I guess. So when we finish fading the ball out here, we then do our celebration, and then that works. So actually we could do that after. So we can do that in there. Start fading. No, we don't want to fade in, do we? Ball faded out. We don't want to fade in. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Wait. Let me think about this again. Okay, so if there's no taps left, then we call this fade out celebrate, and fade out celebrate does the tick pivot reset, and it does the celebration. Okay. Okay. And in fact, all we need to do is do celebration here. We're complicating things here. Do celebration. That's all we need to call because it's just an action. And then inside tick pivot reset, that can get done here. Tick pivot reset. In fact, that can get done here, which I think will cause this to trip. But because we have, actually this needs to be the top level one. So I think this will cause the missed ball to trip because of the way the actions we had set up in the previous video, which means that we can check to see if the state is interstitial here. So we can say if state equals interstitial, return to do handle game over. So that's the idea there. And then that should be us. Okay, so we tap. Okay. 1, 2. So we still need to reset that tick. The tick's getting oh, missed it. Well, at least it's pausing. 3, and it's counting down as well. And we know what level we're on, so we're getting there. Oh, missed it. Damn it. I think we need to make that faster. So I'm going to put up the game controller. Where are we? Start fade in duration. Okay, so I'm going to do a private const float ball fade in out time equals 0.25. So the ball fade in and out time is going to be a quarter of a second instead of that 2.5, and also it means that I can change it everywhere I do here. So ball pivot fade out, and ball pivot fade out, and do we have it anywhere else? Ball pivot fade out. Just because it just seems a bit too slow. Yeah, it seems a little bit faster. Alright, 1. Okay. That seems good. Still need to fix that. Oop. I missed it. We also need to get the positioning sorted out as well. So I'll put that in there. Positioning of the lock loop is broken. Random rotation needs to be relative to player tick. Okay. And wait for the user to tap the screen. Okay, so we've done, yeah, I've done pretty much what I kind of wanted to set out to do. But we still need to fix a couple of loop things, but that's a minor inconvenience, I think. Right. And then let's fix that loop, the tick mark disappearing too late. Like it travels too far. It should stop. So I'm gonna add another function, another method to rotate tick, and it's what I want to do. Let's have a private bool rotating true, and then I'm going to have a public bool rotate, and it's going to be rotating rotate. So I'm just going to have this public method that says I'm either rotating or I'm not rotating. And if I'm not rotating, then I don't want to rotate. Okay, so that's that there, and then inside the game controller, I want to make sure that I'm no longer rotating. So I want to say tick pivot dot rotate false. I want to turn it off. So I don't want it. I don't want to rotate any further. But I also want to, when I start the game, I want to make sure it is rotating, because obviously I need it to rotate when that's happening, which means I think I also need to do that. Oh no, I'm okay, because if I'm in the interstitial one, then it's going to do that. So that should be fine. Everything should be good. Right. Right. Perfect. So we've got 2, 1. That's great. Okay. All right. I think we'll stop the video there. Well, we're ahead. All right, guys. That's slightly. It's not that much shorter. It's slightly shorter video than the previous one. Thank you again for your time. And if you liked, thumbs up. If you didn't like, thumbs down. Either way, just leave a comment below what you liked, what you didn't like, that kind of thing. Helps me out. To help the channel out, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, if you haven't already, that would be great. If you like the videos that you see. If you don't like the videos, then obviously you're not going to subscribe. And, you know, spread word of mouth, you know, like, tweet, share on Facebook, that kind of stuff as well. I do appreciate that. Again, no pressure to do any of these things. It's entirely up to you. I just appreciate your viewership. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.